Fauci messed up the total COVID-19 pandemic by lying to the public time and time again. This man is a perpetual liar, and I'll prove it to you. All you got to do is stick with me for 2 minutes, no more, and I'll show you how this man continuously lies to the public. This is one video clip that you just have to see. You're not going to believe it. Check this out. Listen carefully for yourself.
You regret particularly the last one, the shutdown, the sweeping shutdown that some said made things worse.
No, I don't.
First of all, he doesn't regret anything he did. Typical.
Neil, and in fact, I think we need to make sure that your listeners understand I didn't shut down anything.
Really? Watch and listen.
I recommended to the president that we shut the country down. And the only way to do that is by draconian means of essentially shutting down the country. We know that we can do that if we shut down.
Well, I think one of the things you really need to do, to the extent that you can shut down temporarily the country, I think is important.
Well, if I knew at the time that shutting down would have such a dramatic effect on controlling the spread, obviously we would have shut down earlier.
Did you hear this freaking little midget? You know, if he thinks he's going to retire on December and will be left totally on alone, he better think again. This is a reincarnation of Napoleon Bonaparte, a reincarnation of little Hitler, in my humble opinion, of course. This is the guy that is the perpetual flip-flopper, worse than Trudeau, worse than Doug Ford, worse than Biden, because he was in it for years and decades, that created and was on top of the advisory committee that put us in the predicaments we are today.
There are those who say you shut down you destructive things by disrupting the economy. And others say, well, if you save so many infections by shutting down, why didn't you shut down 2 weeks earlier? But I don't regret saying that the only way we could have really stopped the explosion of infection was by essentially, I want to say shutting down. I mean, essentially having the physical separation and the kinds of recommendations that we've made.
You've been a big fan of Cuomo and the shutdown in New York. You've lauded.
Senator Rand Paul is the guy that said that even if he retires, he is going to persecute him through the fullest extent of the law. Doesn't matter where he goes.
New York with our policy. New York had the highest death rate in the world. How can we possibly be jumping up and down and saying, oh, Governor Cuomo did a great job? He had the worst death rate in the world.
No, you misconstrued that, Senator.
This is a typical king of all kings when it comes to lying and deception. Dr. Fauci, he wants to call himself a doctor. I don't believe he's ever had a patient in his life. He is what we call a TV doctor, a promoter, the man who is paid to give you false information from the corporations themselves. He's paid by them, in my humble opinion, and also there's proof of it. He is an advisor to CDC, WHO, NIH, NIDA, to everyone. He was the advisor for all the presidents of the United States, including Trump. And he misled everyone with it. He knew and still knows exactly what he did, yet he fails to admit it and will not admit it because he is a professional paid liar. I look forward to your comments below. Justin Trudeau, Joe Biden, Doug Ford, to name a few, and him, need to be accountable for their actions. That's all there is to it. Bottom line, that's it.